songs of Martin Page, all day, all night, forever. So grab a cup of tea, settle down with us in the Owl's Nest. All day, all night, forever. People have told me that sounds like Winston Churchill. Well, this is a special. Some people have requested that maybe I did another special about one of my albums. So I thought it's the right time. I'm going to talk about my second solo album. After I did In the House of Stone and Light, many years later, in 2008 actually, took me a while to do this, I released an album called In the Temple of the Muse on my own label, Ironing Board Records, a little independent label that I set up with my manager. So In the Temple of the Muse, that's going to be the story today. I'm going to do a special totally on that record, talk about the songs, play all the songs, and give you some insights to how that came to be. I do remember that I was piecing together some of the songs for another record I was going to release on Mercury Records, and I'd written the song Me Morena and a couple of others, and the top executives came over to my house to hear the tracks being formed, and they said, "Excellent, carry on, my lad." And then the record company folded, and there I was with some of the songs. I was actually very near to preparing and getting live drum. Well, actually, I did get some live drums played by Jimmy Copley again, and I was going to get Mike Shipley ready to mix it. But then all of a sudden, Titanic happened at the record company, and there was no more second album on Mercury for me. I was officially dropped with a lot of other people, dropped from a great, great height. And at that point, I thought, I'm just going to stop for a while, because you can't trust the record company business. You just can't trust it. And I was a bit sort of knocked back by the fact that I couldn't do a second album after In the House of Stone and Light, because that record had done quite well, particularly the single. So I sort of went into a little bit of a hermit seclusion, as I tend to do sometimes. And I thought about everything, and I just sort of stepped back. Well, I stepped back for a bloody long time, didn't I? Along comes 2008, and it's the digital revolution. I was being encouraged to make a record myself and put it out on my own label. And I remember Mike Rodriguez, a great gentleman, a great friend that helps me with my studios and was on the tour with me, helping me technically get it together. He said, "That's what you've got to do, Pagey. We've got to get another album out of you." So In the Temple of the Muse was decided to be a viable thing. And now that title, I'd had it written down on a piece of paper for the longest time. I tend to write titles down and keep them in books and then discover them later. And there was a shop in London called a bookshop called the Temple of the Muse, and it was around the time of Dickens, I think, or maybe the Romantic poets, and it looked amazing. And I thought, there's another incredibly long title about temples or houses or buildings, which I tend to do. So you had In the House of Stone and Light, and now we were going to go into the Temple of the Muse, another building-like title. I don't know why I come up with them. I just like the sound of them, really. But also, around this period, getting you into the picture here, through that period, from my first album and the long length of time to this second one, I'd lost my parents, and some good friends had passed on. And so around this album, I remember that when I was writing it, I was learning about Buddhism and trying to heal through the grief. And so some of these songs I can remember came to me while I was negotiating really a lot of pain, emotional pain anyway. And so the songs appeared when I didn't really expect them to appear. And without looking over my shoulder, I saw that I had something like 14 to 15 songs written, and through everybody's encouragement, I thought maybe now I'm ready to put this second record out myself. And I was getting healthy in my mind, and life was beginning to come back in quite colourfully, and I could feel life again after the grief. And so In the Temple of the Muse meant to me that I was going back into the church of the studio, the recording studio, the electric church, and it was the Muse for me. I was back in the studio, in the place I really loved to be. And that, to me, was the temple of creativity. So that's where the Temple of the Muse basically came for me as a title, and what it meant to me. And then because of the Buddhism, a lot of the songs I was writing were very, I suppose, introspective and had a long-distance view about them. They weren't actually on the nose. They were atmospheric pieces. And the first song, I Guess I Will, really was one of those kinds of songs that came about from a feeling, a Buddhist feeling. And I Guess I Will was my surrender back to music, really, and to realizing that I flourish when I write songs and I record songs and I sing. So I Guess I Will was me speaking to myself and saying, I guess this is what I should be doing. Anyway, I found a fantastic rhythm on the drum machine, and it was bubbling and it was very, very spontaneous. And let me play it to you now. Here's the song that starts the album up, I Guess I Will.
Of sweat roll down your neck, passion moves, sun and moon, the wonder and the grace when I'm with you. And I can see no ordinary world, I guess you know, oh, I kissed your soul. And I can see no I will, I guess I will. The open vein, the ashes rain, a spirit shed upon our bed, forever and a day, I'll be with you. And I can see no you know, I'll kiss your soul. And I can see no ordinary girl and love you still. Oh, I guess I will. For you, my dark divine, on the desert plain where your ravens fly, forever and a day, I'll be there. And I can see no ordinary world, I guess you know, yeah, I kissed your soul. And I can see no still, oh, I guess I will. And I can see no ordinary world, eternity, oh, you're burning me.
That's the first song on the album, I Guess I Will. And it was interesting. I was writing a love song, as you can hear with the lyrics, but it was a love song to music and how music had brought me back from a pretty dark space, really. So in a way, it's a love song to what has kept me alive all these years, which is creativity and music. It's me programming the drums and Jimmy Copley adding his live drums on top of that. We had Russell Broom, the great guitarist from Canada, and Neil Taylor, the great guitarist from Bath in England. Not from being in a bath, but from Bath. Neil played as some beautiful guitars there, as did Russell, and the rest of the stuff was done by me. I remember that I was a little nervous that I was going to start the album with this mid-tempo groove because, you know, you always want to sort of lift off at the front of an album, as In the House of Stone and Light had done. But over time, I just realised that the groove was very sensuous and quite unusual, and so it just had to be the opening track. It was quite a strange arrangement as well, with the key changes happening around where usually bridges take place. So I really felt like this song was definitely pushing the album from the start in a really, shall we say, sensuous way. The second song on the album is a song called Everything You Do, and I think this totally reflects what I was reading a great deal of at that time, which was Buddhism. I think these lyrics really come from that engulfing myself in a lot of the literature and really feeling that Buddhism was speaking to me. It's an interesting track in the sense that the drum track came from a recording that I did on the House of Stone and Light sessions, where Trevor Thornton, my great friend and drummer from the Q-Field days, he came in to play on a song called In My Room on that album and do some overdubs on Keeper of the Flame and The Door. And while he was there, we got him to play a groove, and the engineer, Jeff Lorenzen, eventually got Trevor's drums and sampled them into a wonderful loop. And it was interesting to me because the kick was on the offbeat, reminded me of like King of Pain by The Police. It was just interesting for me to write on. So, in fact, Trevor's the drummer on this, but it's a loop of what I picked up in the House of Stone and Light days from him. But it really propelled the track. And the chords were very, very simple. I've always been a fan of those chord progressions that feel enigmatic, but they're very, very simple when you really look at them. There's a revolving feel about these chords and a kind of hypnotic feel. I did all the recording on this, and Brian Fairweather, my Q-Film songwriter partner, came in and did some guitar overdubs on the end of the song. And it was basically, again, a demo that turned into a master. Anyway, let's play it, and I'll talk to you a bit more about it after. This is a song called Everything You Do.
Everything you do it for love. Everything you say with love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Every time you look for love. And every time you see with love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Love is all we need. Yeah, 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 yeah. Love is all I see. Every time you fall for love. And every time you reach out for love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Every time you touch with love. And if you wanna believe in love. Yeah, 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 yeah. Love is all we need. Everything you yeah, yeah, come on. Love is all I see. Oh. Love is all we need. Everything you love is all I see. Everything you love is all we need. Everything love is all I see.
Everything You Do It for Love. That's the second track on my album In the Temple of the Muse, and this is a special about that album. That brought back some memories, because I remember I was playing on the end an Epiphone John Lennon guitar, and I was putting it through a little very small 5-watt Vox amplifier, but it gave it such a bark. It was great. And on the end there, I faded a little bit earlier, otherwise we're never going to get through this, are we? We're not going to play 10 songs. But on the end there's a choir that I didn't have on the original recording, and right at the last minute I put on this kind of Renaissance Gaelic kind of choir. And it does end quite beautifully. But you're going to have to listen to the album properly to hear the end. We are fighting against time. And then a few artists, including Robbie Williams. He attempted to record this, and we never got to finish it. But he was very attracted to this song. And Mickey Thomas with Put It On the Starship's Greatest Hits. I love that the bass comes in later on in the song, and that the bass starts to not play the root notes on the chords, and I think that's when you get the emotional moments in songs and suspensions. There's a lot of them in there, and I'm always moved by suspended chords. Anyway, that's second song on the album, Everything You Do, maybe in brackets, Karma. Well, the first song I actually wrote for this album, thinking it was going to be the second album on Mercury, was the song Mi Morena. And I've probably told this story 1,000,001 times, but the inspiration came from Pablo Neruda's wonderful poetry, the Chilean poet. And this song has been recorded by Josh Groban and Elaine Page and some others as well. It's one of those songs that seems to have legs. I remember that I played Mi Morena to the Mercury record company when I was building the album, and they sort of pointed to say that's probably going to be the single, the adult contemporary single. So I did feel good about that, and it seemed like this song was a very, very strong place to start from. Mi Morena in Latin means my dark one, and I had to ask my manager what it meant, because when I was looking at the poetry, I always write with phonetic lyrics. So Mi Morena. So in that chorus I had the sound, but I didn't have the words. And then glancing at Pablo Neruda's poetry, there it was. When I sang Mi Morena, I thought, whatever that means, it does sound good. And luckily it meant something that appealed to me, my dark one, and I do like brunette ladies. So what you hear with Mi Morena is actually the demo. It's all me playing everything, and I actually thought it was the demo, but every time I played it to somebody, they'd say, that's finished, it feels really good. So this is a great example of the demo really becoming the master. I'll tell you a bit more about it after. This is the third song on the album, Mi Morena.
So, my love, from my window I can see a beautiful vision, and when the music plays, your body rises like a bird of grace. Mi Morena, I saw you dancing in the rain. Holy water, shining like a silver flame, cold like a ghost. I will watch you dance alone, Mi Morena. You're the light within my soul. And so of silk and lace, you lift upon the notes and slip away. Mi Morena, I saw you dancing in the rain. Holy water, shining like a silver flame, come like a ghost. I will watch you dance alone, Mi Morena. You're the light within my soul. Take this cross of feathers and bone, and take this heart I've carved in stone, in your name. Morena, I saw you dancing in the rain. Holy water, shining like a silver flame. Come like a ghost, I will watch you dance alone. Mi Morena, you're the light within my soul. Mi Morena, hold your hands out to the night. Be my lover.
Mi Morena.
I will swear to
You know, over the years, your voice changes as a singer, and I don't think I could have sung that song when I was a young lad, and I don't think, I think it was, the timing was right for me to be able to perform a song like that. My voice got richer. I began to really think about what I was singing, and I think that's because of the break that I had between House of Stone and Light, when I was beginning to get in touch with something inner inside me. And I think when I made Temple of the Muse, particularly on songs like this, my vocals, to me, sort of came into their own, and I believed in them. I had a new sensation that I believed that some of the songs I was singing, only I could actually portray them the way they should be portrayed. Now, I'd never had those feelings before, but on this album, I began to be suspicious of that. You probably know I take sequencing of an album very seriously, so the first 3 songs here that you've just heard, I Guess I Will, Everything You Do, and Mi Morena, it felt to me like that was a good trio, that was a good triplet start to the album. And one more thought about Mi Morena, it's become, in a way, my most second love song in my career, really. It's after House of Stone and Light, Mi Morena seems to be a well-loved, beloved song. And we're not mentioning We Built the City and These Dreams here, but just for my career, Mi Morena has become a bit of a touchstone. Going into the chest of the album, from the head down to the chest, track 4. It's a song called Try. I have fond memories of this song. I can remember a lot about it, and I'll tell you more about it when it's over. Try.
So the party's over, it's time to turn out the lights. In the middle of nowhere, empty songs, empty nights. Upstairs you're crying, oh in love, we're caught in the rain. Great day dying, oh, but nobody calls your name. Baby, just try, try. Hold your head up high. Baby, just try, try to trust your heart. Baby, just try. Try, let love open your eyes. Baby, just try, try to trust your heart. Paper angel falling, falling face down in the snow. Dreamless and frozen, when all you wanted was a hand to hold. Tired of being broken, I'll lay you down in roses blue. Is it okay to say, hey, I love you? Baby, just try, try. Hold your head up high. Baby, just try, try to trust your heart. Baby, just try, try. Let love open your eyes. Baby, just try, let your sad eyes melt into mine. Baby, it'll be alright. Baby, just try. Unfold your wings and fly. Baby, just try to trust your heart. And when you hide behind the door, when you just can't feel anymore, baby, just try to trust your heart. Baby, just try.
Track 4 on my album In the Temple of the Muse. This is a special about that album. Thank you for joining me and listening. Hopefully you're there, progressing with me through this album from 2008. This is a Radio Owlsnest special. Now, Try, I had a lot of memories of this song. I remember that it was done on analog on a Soundcraft big 24-channel board. I think it was, it filled up my whole room. And the initial recording was done onto a Studio 24 track. And then I transferred it across. And I do remember it was unusual for me to sing a whole song falsetto. And this whole song really is in falsetto. And many times, really, you can't get away with that. Maybe I shouldn't have. But it seemed to have such a melancholy and wistful and longing feel about singing it all in falsetto. Something about the pads as well. I remember that the pads made the song for me, the sound, the hollow sound, which you can hear mainly in the breakdown last bridge. I think that really made me approach this song in an interesting way, because I actually programmed the drum machine live as the song went through, and I was playing a lot of toms on the drum machine, and that made me feel a bit like a Fleetwood Mac track. Somehow the toms rumbling made me want to also just play a very free-form guitar. I remember this is like just a couple of tracks of just feeling the track and not really analysing too much and finding a really nice delay with the guitar. So that, with the pads, the rumbling live drum machine and the guitar being free-form, something about the song had a longing feeling about it, like you were trying to make your friend or somebody you love believe in themselves, to trust themselves. I mean, it's easy to trust other people, but it's often not very easy for us to believe or trust in ourselves, and that's really what this song is all about. After listening to the first 4 songs again now, I can realise that an intimacy was happening on this album, in a lot of ways a closer, simplified intimacy than the first album I made, In the House of Stone and Light. This was a closer record to me, particularly around this spot, the fourth song. I could feel that there was something that was brave about not going over the top in the production, and Try is a very simple song. There's always a tendency to produce and think there's something more, but I think because of my emotional state making this record, that I thought if we could hold some close intimacy to this record, we'd be doing well. Again, as I said, analog recording, and you can feel the bass on this track, and sometimes I'm sure the bass players will enjoy. Sometimes when you just play a steady 8 bass throughout the song, it speaks really, really well. And I think I got a clarity and a simplicity in the lyrics as well. A couple of lines: try to trust your own heart, and in love all things renew. And I really believe that. So that's what I can remember about Try. Now, most albums have 10 songs on. Well, they did from my era anyway. Now you can put like 72 on and still put it onto a CD somehow. But song 5, we're coming up to Man in the Moon. And to me, that was like the middle of the record. It might have been the beginning of side 2 or the end of side 1. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is a song called Man in the Moon. And I see it really as a brother song to a song of mine called Shape the Invisible, which I recorded on the In the House of Stone and Light record. There's a lot of similarities there, particularly with the rhythm and the feel. It's an ecology song, and it had a long beginning. I wrote this and I wasn't sure what it was when I wrote it lyrically, and at first it was called Harvest Bow, and it had a Gaelic Celtic feel about it. and it was a little, shall we say, folk-oriented. But the rhythm, when Jimmy Copley, the live drummer, as you will hear on the song, played on it, it got another strength to it, and a different picture appeared to me, and it seemed to have a very, very long distance view again. And so it brought back to me the thought of when I was a kid, my parents used to say, look at the moon, you'll see the face in the moon. And for the longest time I couldn't. I was like, and then I go, yes, there's the eyes, there's the nose, there's the mouth. And I always thought, even as a kid, like, oh, the moon is looking down on us. And so the vibe of the song was that the moon was looking at all the things we were doing wrong on Earth, all the wars. And if you look at the satellite pictures of Earth, you can see how it's changed with the pollution, and you can see the colour of the blue changing into pollution, oil, and you can see where the wars have happened and are still happening. And you could see that there was a lot of desolation and the burning of the jungle. So the colour of the Earth was changing, and it was not changing into a nice colour. I remember when I recorded this that I recorded it first too slow, so I had to speed the track up when I mixed it. So any of you guitarists out there or musicians trying to play along to it, you're going to go, what kind of crazy key is this in? Yes, it was sped up. And Jimmy Copley, great drums. You'll notice on the end when he comes in from the breakdown into the re-entry of the fade, he does quite an interesting roll. He sort of goes across the beat. That was a mistake. He wasn't sure where to come in, and so he did a roll that went into the fade, but it just sounded great, and we both looked at each other and said, that should stay. And also Russell Broom, the Canadian guitarist who I'd met playing on the road, he was with Jan Arden's band. He played the major electric guitar on this, and the strikes in the chorus, and the arpeggio on the end, which sounds like very Genesis in my mind. He put that in a place in the song that I thought wasn't the perfect place to have it, so I sampled it and put it onto the end. And my manager, who'd got used to it in the other place, said, it's starting in the wrong place and the arp is backwards. But I liked it, so I falter off and I kept it there. And Russell did play some extremely beautiful guitars. The rest of the music you hear on there is all Mr. Page, me, and I'm particularly pleased with the guitars. Anyway, have a listen to Man in the Moon.
And I was just talking to the man in the moon. You know, he's got such an amazing view. Yeah, hanging in heaven's bell, he's been watching me and you, doing the crazy things we do.
Man in the Moon, track 5 on my album In the Temple of the Muse. I sped the track up, as I said to you, and you can hear my voice is a little teeny bit different to what you probably know. I sound a bit like John Lennon on Strawberry Fields Forever. There's an element there that reminds me that, yes, this track has been sped up and I'm moving towards Chipmunk Land, but not quite. But, Man in the Moon. And now we move on to a very simple and short song that has become a little bit beloved by my supporters, and I'm glad it is. It's called Blessed. A very, very simple piece, but quite emotional. I remember writing it, and I remember my mother was alive, and she heard it and instantly said, "That's going to make me cry." But I do remember that when I wrote this song, I thought the actual progression in not a great key for guitarist, D flat. I always write in these bizarre keys. Whenever guitarists play on my record, they say, "Is it in E flat or C sharp?" Or, and I go, "Yes, I'm afraid it is. I can't move it into C or E for you." So guitarists sort of get prepared to break their fingers when they play on my records. I remember when I wrote the song that I had most of the lyrics, but I didn't really have the end lyrics. And when I did get the lyrics at the end, suddenly it became a marriage song, a commitment song. And I wasn't sure it was a commitment song. And I thought that for a while, but then over time I just thought it makes a lot of sense. And you sort of back off to your emotions and say, this is the way it should be. And in fact, over the years, many supporters of mine have said they've used it at their marriage ceremonies. And that's there's nothing better than that, I suppose. Track 6 on In the Temple of the Muse. Here's Blessed.
A million stars burn overhead, but one flame lights my life, yeah. Who'd have thought I'd find the best with you? I am blessed. You took this broken man, held me in your healing hands. Thank my lucky stars, I guess. With you, I am blessed. Fill my soul with pride each day that I see the sunrise in your eyes. After all we've been through, one thing is true: I spend my life with you. Oh, it has to be said, with you I am blessed. When I've needed a friend, I have felt your quiet strength. Walk beside me every step. With you, I am blessed. Fill my soul with pride each day that I see the sunrise in your eyes. After all we've been through, one thing is true: I'll spend my life with you. And our journey begins. Now you wear my ring. Oh, the day that you said yes was the day I was blessed.
You're listening to a Radio Owlsnest special about the album, my second solo album, In the Temple of the Muse, and that was track 6, Blessed. Listening back now, sat here in the studio putting this all together, I'm very happy with the sequencing on this record. I feel like the order of the songs is working. And of course, when you record lots of music like I do, you don't get a chance sometimes to look back at what you've done. I tend to move on straight away. So as I'm sat here pondering, I'm thinking the sequencing, as I see like making a book or seeing how a movie flows, I feel it. The 7th song on this record, quite a big history about it, and I can remember a lot about this song, The Long Walk Home. When I wrote this, initially it had a lot of rhythm, continually pounding through it, and I really felt like the rhythm was the key, that was the way the song was going to start. But at a certain point, I just felt that there was more in the lyrics that had to be related to rhythmically and musically. So I broke the whole song down into a minimal, intimate vibe. I took the reverbs off the lead vocal so that there was a closeness to the lead vocal. Something in this song felt very strong to my manager, and every time I played demos of it to her, she said, sing it again, you need to get the emotion right. I know you can get the emotion right. So she pushed me to the limit on the vocal, but I'm very pleased that she did. The musicians that join me on this record, again, Jimmy Copley, and he played right from the beginning of the song, but you'll hear I only bring him in really on the fade, and I feature the drum machines much before the fade comes and Jimmy adds this double time terrific rhythm. Russell Broom again played guitars, and it's his solo on an acoustic guitar that you'll hear. Jack Hughes played rhythm, fantastic part all the way through the song, but again, I bring him in halfway through the track. He plays a very kind of Pete Townsend repetitive arp guitar, and that worked out quite beautiful. And there was a place which it felt where it should start to creep in. And the song was recorded again by Robbie Williams, and myself and Bobby Summerfield produced Robbie on it. And I think the redemption side of the lyrics, really based on beating an addiction, really appealed to him. And I think he really related to the beating an addiction lyrics and trying to help somebody beat addiction. And Robbie did a great version of it as well. I'm reminded here that I played 5-string bass on this, a Yamaha 5-string bass, and the pushes on the 5-string bass give the song an underlying funk feel. I think there's an underlying groove that is quite tasty, and on the fade, it's the little bass riffs you hear, the 5-string bass riffs. I've doubled that with my voice so that it gets a very interesting character about it, almost like a tribal, primitive feel with these bass notes. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. This is track 7 on In the Temple of the Muse, a song called The Long Walk Home.
Baby, you can pick away the moon and pour away the ocean. You can take apart the sun and run from everyone. You can blow out all the stars, but I know the day will come when love unchains your soul and you'll take the long walk home. Hello, baby, haven't seen you for a while. There's a shadow on your face, a lie in your smile. You sent the world away. Everything's just fine, but there's a cry for help behind your eyes. Baby, you can pick away the moon and pour away the ocean. You can take apart the sun and run from everyone. You can blow out all the stars, but I know the day will come when love unchains your soul and you'll take the long walk home. Another 5 a.m. The cancer crawls and you're pressed against an invisible wall. All of the bottles are dry and the seed is stuck. You keep hearing Johnny sing, all you need is love. Baby, you can take away the moon and pour dance your soul, and you'll take the long walk home, and you can sleep the longest night. I believe you'll wake in time to open the window wide and breathe the brilliant light. Baby, you can back away the moon and pour away the ocean. You can take apart the sun and run from everyone. You can blow out all the stars, but I know the day will come when love unchains your soul, and you'll take the long walk home. Baby, you can light the fires of hell and wrestle with the angels. You can pull down heaven's blue and tear yourself in two before you blow each candle out. Reach into the dark, there'll be a hand to hold, and we'll take the long walk home. Baby, go up so slow through the clear white snow. I won't let your soul be broken. We're gonna walk
Track
so
7 on In the Temple of the Muse. That's a song called The Long Walk Home. And that's Bill Dillon, the great Canadian guitarist, playing some of those great licks on the end. And I remember listening back now that a lot of the sequencing on this song and the way the song starts, I was playing a DX7 too. That's for all you tech nerds out there. So, to song 8. It's a track called Song for Ruth, and it's for my mother. And her name was Ruth Pamela Page. So my dad, after he lost Mum, he told me some incredible stories about how he dated her and romanced her. They were very, very much in love all through their lives. And after she passed, one day he sat down and told me how that he used to come from a small village, Totton, outside Southampton, into the city centre where my mum lived, and he would ride a bike in, a bicycle, all that way to meet my mum, and then he would say he would ride his bike back after trying to woo her, as we say. And sometimes she used to take the bus into Totton to see him, and he always remembered and reminisced that when she got on the bus to go back, he used to look for her face at the window, and in lots of ways it broke his heart, and he knew that he was going to marry her. I wrote the lyrics through his eyes and everything he was talking to me about, and as though he was speaking to her. He could have been speaking to her back then and speaking to her now, well, at that point when he'd lost her. So that's the way the lyrics were written, and she loved to dance, and he always told me that that was her big thing. She loved music and she wanted to dance all the time, and so there's an element in the lyrics which are pointing towards that. Also, Christmas was huge to my mum, and Dad remembered that she waited for that period, and it was very magical to her. Also, on the end, I do a stream of consciousness singing. It's a stream of thought. As I sang the song, I just thought about all the things that were magical to her in her life. I was a big fan of Mike Scott and what the Waterboys were doing, and there was an element of that kind of letting go of just what you thought. I remember when I sang the lead vocal, I closed my eyes and just thought of all the things that she felt dear about, and I let it just go. And also that you can tell there's a huge Blue Nile influence on this song. I was very moved around this period to the work of the Scottish band the Blue Nile, and the way I was playing the chords and the way I was feeling the track was very much influenced by and my admiration for that band. I think it's one of the best vocals I've ever done. Anyway, I'll talk a bit more about it after, but here is a song called Song for Ruth.
The last bus is leaving from the felt so right. Can you feel me, baby? Love never says goodbye. I can see a young girl dancing in the light. Let me hold you, baby. Love never says goodbye. All over town, the hanging Christmas lights. I kiss your soul and say goodnight. Let me hold you, baby. Nothing has felt so right. Can you feel me, baby? Love never says goodbye. I can see a young girl dancing in the light. Let me hold you, baby. Love never says goodbye. Go, baby, don't be late for the dance. Put on your blue dress and take my open hand. Yeah, let's walk in the rain, baby. When I hold you, baby, nothing has felt so right. Can you feel me, baby? Love never says goodbye. I can see a young girl, angel in my eyes. Let me hold you, baby. Love never says goodbye. A string of pearls, the silver girls, all the cigarettes, the hearts you blessed, beauty wrapped in grease, all the birthday cats and paper hats, and wedding rings and dolphin fins, dignity and lace, all in your love light, all in your love light, yeah. Follow your love light, yeah.
Song for Ruth. I was playing a Epiphone Casino guitar on that, and I was playing all the instruments. That's a sort of a one-man band show kind of thing. 808 drum machine was all that was used. There's something about a Roland 808 drum machine that brings a closeness and an intimacy to a song. So that's what I was programming there. And the suspended chords throughout the track, it's really the bass notes that are making the chords point towards changing. And I enjoyed playing the minimal piano notes and the solo. Very, very short, but a little bit jazzy. And it just felt beautifully blue and rainy. So that's Song for Ruth. Now we come to track 9, and it's a song called When Johnny Sang the Blues. I remember when I was doing this song, I really felt for some reason it was a continuation of Song for Ruth. I think lyrically it touches on that same theme, and it is a continuation. There's a real northern feel about this song. In my mind, when I was writing the lyrics, I was feeling how nostalgic and how romantic the 60s were to me, with the Beatles breaking up in Liverpool. So there's a feeling of the north here. And John Lennon, he really influenced me with his twist twist and shout vocals and how he really sang the blues, even with the Beatles early on. I felt that. And so there's a real nostalgia for the North and the 60s and the atmosphere of what that was, a romantic, nostalgic time for me. Great drum playing on this track by Jimmy Copley, and I'm very proud of the bass I played with him on this. The accents, and I think it's one of my best bass performances with Jimmy. And Jimmy's got that piccolo snare, very high snare. I wish Mike Shipley could have mixed this track and the whole album, but this is just me doing my stuff. The bridges, that particularly on the end when the bridge happens, it uplifts into, I think, a very spiritual place. And the bass, I let myself go there, let my hair down. That's me playing the opening guitar and all those rhythm parts that you hear that sound like on a Strat. I was playing a Strat, so the rhythmic swinging parts are me, and rest of the guitars are by Jack Hughes. Great rhythm parts by Jack Hughes. Again, very influenced by those bands of that era that I admired. Again, the Blue Nile, Deacon Blue, and Prefab Sprout. It's all there in the melting pot. And I'm tipping my hat to soul music as well, because as well as the Beatles, we had Motown happening. So to me, nostalgia and romance for Motown, soul, and the Mersey beat. Johnny sang the blues.
When Johnny sang the blues, I saw you waiting by the station. And just one more time, baby, you put on your bright red dancing shoes. When Johnny sang the blues, and all of our hearts were breaking. Christmas lights in your eyes were shining. I swear I was holding you when Johnny sang the blues. Oh, that sweet soul music, yeah. Run my fingers through your hair. Watch the lights go down over smoky town. Something was in the air when Johnny sang the blues. I saw you waiting by the station. Just one more time, baby, you put on your bright red dancing shoes. When Johnny sang the blues, and all of our hearts were breaking. Christmas lights in your eyes were shining. I swear I was holding you when Johnny sang the blues. Baby, we'll take the ferry right across the Mersey. Count those downtown lights in the northern sky. Yeah, those days were crazy when Johnny sang the blues. I saw you waiting at the station. Just one more time, baby, you put on your bright red dancing shoes. When Johnny sang the blues, and all of our hearts were breaking. Christmas lights in your eyes were shining. I swear I was holding you when Johnny sang the blues. prairie dancing shoes. When Johnny sang the blues, and all of our hearts were breaking. Christmas lights in your eyes were shining. I swear I was holding you when Johnny sang the blues. It's a beautiful world to wait. Close your eyes just this time. It's a beautiful world to wade into the river, wet your body shiver, feel so cool.
Romantic nostalgia for the 60s when I grew up. North of England, Mersey beat the Beatles and Motown when Johnny sang the blues. So now we come to the final track on the album, a song called Where the Sun is Buried. I've spoken about this song before, where it was inspired from, I was reading a story about the end of a battle, and the soldiers were stood there on the field, and one soldier said, across the desolation, where is the sun buried? It's certainly not here. And that resonated with me, and this song appeared. The verses have mentions of the Bosnia War and the Oklahoma bombing, and there was a school shooting, a terrible school shooting in a town in Scotland called Dunblane, and they make appearances in this song. It's really the story of why, the eternal human question of why do these things happen, and nothing is gained from violence, only more violence. The feel of the song is slow jazz. I programmed the drums and Jimmy Copley got involved. It felt really good to tell this story with this kind of feel. Some songs, even when you write them right before an album, you know they're the last song on an album, and Where the Sun is Buried, instantly when that song appeared, I knew that this was probably the last song on In the Temple of the Muse, and so it was. Listen for the beautiful, beautiful guitars by Bill Dillon, particularly on the fade. There's some amazing riffs and some great guitar by Russell Broom. Two wonderful Canadian guitarists I was lucky to have involved on this album. So here is Where the Sun is Buried.
Does anybody wonder why we lay a flower by a schoolyard gate in quiet Dunblane? And do you ever wonder why we place a flower by a ruined wall in Oklahoma? And I wanna know where the sun is buried, and I wanna know where the light is hidden beneath some heavy stones, beneath my broken bones. And I think I know where the sun is buried. It's in my own backyard, in a garden overgrown and scarred, in my own heart. Yeah. And I'll always remember a blood-stained flower in the hands of a child in Sarajevo. And I wanna know where the sun is buried, and I wanna know where the light is hidden beneath some heavy stones, beneath my broken bones. I think I know where the sun is buried. It's in my own backyard, in a garden overgrown and scarred, in in my own heart. Yeah. And I wanna know where the sun is buried, and I wanna know where the light is hidden beneath some heavy stones, beneath my broken bones. And I think I know where the sun is buried. It rests beneath my skin, in a place I hope I can forget. My own heart, my human heart.
Where the sun is buried, under my skin, in the human heart. I hope I can forgive. So, this has been a special of In the Temple of the Muse. Thank you to the supporters that asked me to do this. It was great fun to do this special, and I learnt a lot by doing it. A lot of things you forget, but it all came back, which is great. The album was released in 2008 on my independent label, Ironing Board Records, and I want to thank Jeff Lorenzen for doing some great engineering with me, particularly at my house when we were putting this album together, and Ed Thacker for recording the drums, the live drums of Jimmy Copley at American Studios, and all the musicians that got involved. I'd like to thank Mike Rodriguez as well for being technically supportive through all this and getting everything launched. And I have to thank Diane Poncher, my executive producer, who made me sing these songs more than I wanted to. And got to thank my good friend Bobby Summerfield for actually helping me right at the end of the project put the sequencing together and get this onto a CD and do some great quality control at the end of the project. And Diane Poncher, my manager, took the cover photograph, which was taken at a mission in California with stained glass windows shining down on me. The album was initially recorded on analog and then transferred to digital, and most of it, yes, the majority of it was recorded at my home studio here. And I also want to thank Vanessa Levitt, who keeps these radio shows and all my social media bubbling along wonderfully. And I should thank my cats. I had a tribe of cats that made me feel very Buddhist through the recording sessions. And I want to thank you, my loyal owl heads, for encouraging me to do this show. And I hope that you join me again on further expeditions into my vaults and my archives. And I will see you again very soon in the Owlsnest.